Hello, friends. Welcome back, or welcome to Cosmic Triggers with me, Sam. Today's episode is very dear to my heart. I recorded this on a day where I had a momentary lapse of confusion. And what does that mean? I talk about that. So if you're interested in my confusion, which really is just a moment where I see outside of what I normally see. I got lost on this day. And I think it's good to get lost because sometimes we just do things and we don't really know why we're doing them. And it's good to get lost so that we can see other ways to do things. So I was confused on this day. It's very tender. I was very much in my heart and in a very real place. It's a beautiful episode, and I hope you enjoy it. And thanks for listening. And I invite you, as always, to engage with me and talk to me. I want to hear what's going on and what resonates, and I want to hear what comes up for you in your experience listening to me. So thanks for listening, and we'll talk soon. Bye.
We're not on the same wavelength, but somehow on the same page.
Thank you for being here today. Today feels like a new day. It is a new day. Every day is a new day. Every moment. But I feel new. Or old, depending on how you want to look at it. But I feel like I've been here before. Though I'm not here very often. My therapist talks about momentary lapses of confusion, where we really are only our true selves for moments. That most of the time we're coming from the past, the person we were conditioned to be and then conditioned ourselves to be. And we just kind of oscillate. If we do the work, we can oscillate back and forth between who we really are and the person we needed to be or were conditioned to be. So today feels like a day where I'm confused and I don't really feel like I'm the person I was conditioned to be. I'm in an unknown, so I don't really know how she speaks, but maybe I do. Maybe this is it. This is how I speak and how I am. And it's really hard to be this person in the day-to-day when we're not kind of in our incubation period. Like, I am in a womb of I am in my cocoon at the moment. I feel like I was just born and I have a little baby, and I really need to take care of her, and I don't want anyone else to come in and give me their germs and take her, and I'm just like, I'm with my baby right now. Leave food at the door. I'll eat it. But don't bother me. That's kind of how I feel. And I am curious what that period looks like for other people. Like, what that looks like for you to have. And I think that's why I'm here today. I was, I kind of had an epiphany the other day about instead of consuming information about other people, I want to consume the information of myself. I am constantly creating. I have hundreds of podcast episodes that I never released. I have writings and poems and ideas and all kinds of things that come that I do nothing with. I put them in, I make them. Actually, I'm great. Thank you, past me, for doing it. Thank you for at least writing it down. Thank you for doing it in the moment. Even if you didn't share it, thank you for creating it. Because I have so much to share now. I have collected acorns from my tree for a very long time. I have so many acorns that I can, whatever you want to do with them, they're acorns. Whatever you want to do with them, do it. You might make acorn butter with it. You might decorate with your acorns. You might have them on your altar like I have acorns on my altar. I don't know what you'll do with them. You might not like, you might be like, cool, thanks. Then the squirrel can get it. So, I found a note that I wrote. And I listened to a podcast episode I recorded, and I was like, wow, I know a lot of things. And I really, there's something here. And it's not doing any good just sitting in my phone. I mean, it's cool from time to time for me to go back. I think that's everything we create is so that because we're trying to get a message across really to ourselves. We're really creating for ourselves, but at the same time, others benefit from our creations. Like the creations are also selfless. Or they can be. This is going to be a ramble. I haven't done a ramble in a long time. What I do Monday morning rambles and Wisdom Wednesdays. Maybe I'll save this for a Monday morning ramble. I think so. This feels so familiar. This feels like how the podcasts used to be, where I would forget what I was talking about and just connect dots and go all over. Go all over. And I think it's good to get lost. I think that's how we find ourselves. If things feel familiar for too long, we're stagnant. Like if things feel familiar, I mean, granted, I just said, this seems familiar, but I haven't been here in a while. But if you're in the familiar, I guess it just depends what the familiar is. If the familiar is detrimental, it's not good to be in the familiar. But if the if let's bring it all back. If the conditioning is familiar, which it is, right? Who I was conditioned to be and then acting from that place, that feels familiar. If I'm doing things that don't feel familiar, if I'm getting lost, and that's beautiful. I want to get lost because then I can make a choice. I'm like presented with a different choice. But if I'm constantly acting from the place of familiarity, I'm making really the same choices over and over again. So we need to do things differently. And I guess some things can stay the same. You know, it's interesting. Okay, so this is what I wanted to do today. I found this little notebook. Well, I always know where it is, but I don't go and look for it all the time. But I looked for it today. And this is a notebook that I've brought with me. I brought this to Peru when I did my plant journey with ayahuasca. And I also brought this notebook with me on my first tobacco diet. So it has a lot of wisdom. So it could also be a Wisdom Wednesday. Anyway, there was a day on the trip to Peru where we went to Machu Picchu, and we had a beautiful guide who really gave us the indigenous wisdom, not like a typical tour guide, like, oh, this is when it was built, and this and this. Like, it was indigenous wisdom and knowledge of what Machu Picchu is and the surrounding structures. And I was reading through this, and this is a note I wrote from something he said the day we were visiting Machu Picchu. He said, they built everything according to the cosmos. So did the Egyptians. That's why the pyramids are still there, because it's in accordance to nature and the cosmos. And I thought about that. Like, the pyramids are like 5,000 years old. Machu Picchu, how old are the structures at Machu Picchu? So, Machu Picchu is like almost 700 years old. Well, not the Machu Picchu is one of them. It's the mountain, but the structures. But those are the Incan. So the pre-Incan are even older. So for something to withstand time, it must be built in accordance with something that allows it to sustain. Like, I was thinking about how old this way of living is, like modern living. And I have not been around long enough to really know. But this is pretty young. Capitalism's very young. The Roman Empire How long was that able to sustain? Ooh, let's see. How long did the Roman Empire exist for? Wow. 1,480 years. That's so long. What does that mean? What does that mean? That's crazy. But I mean, the Appalachian Mountains are millions of years old, right? Like nature, things in nature are. How old are mountains? The Rockies are relatively young, but they're old. So things are very old. And why are they allowed to exist for so long? Like, but plastic, right? Plastic exists for a long time. So maybe that doesn't mean anything. Maybe it means nothing. I think we want things to mean things. I've been getting in touch with that lately too, that I definitely have a view of the world that I want to be true. And I think a lot of us do. There's like, we have a story or an explanation or an idea, a concept of anything, of everything, and we want it to be true. Because what if it isn't? What if what we believe is not the truth? Like, there are so many perspectives and peoples and cultures that exist. How could one possibly be right and another, how would you know? And I guess we say that, the plants are really beautiful guides for questions like these. And there is a right way. There is a right way. There is right speech. There is right action. And we all have to learn what that is for ourselves. And we, of course, want to move towards that. I think we want to be beautiful. I think everything wants to do the right thing. And what is the right thing? I think you have to find that. And to find the right thing requires going into the wrong thing. And we have that opportunity every day. Like every moment. And by no means are we going to do it correct every time. We're not. Because we have to learn. We're here to learn. I like how I'm like, hey, we actually have no idea. And if there's certainty, and if you. No, but it makes sense, right? It's like, we have to have some semblance of like, this is what I think it is. And go that way. And still get like knocked on your ass. And be open for that, right? Like, what did they say? They say 2 feet on the ground, head in the sky, or something like that. Like, that's what it feels like. It's like, I gotta be grounded in some kind of reality. But also be aware that there is other reality, right? Like, yes, there is what I have right now. There's the information that I have right now. But it's subject to change. But it's not constantly, it is, but it's not constantly changing. And that is the beauty of the world we live in, and each other to reflect to each other. So there is right way. There is a right way. For everyone. And everyone's at a different point and at a different, right, like at a different level. I've talked about this before, I think. But something I wanted to add, maybe to that point, is that I wrote this down the other day. If you've never done something before and someone asks you to do it, the thing you've never done before, you're probably not going to do it the best way. You might, but there's a pretty big chance you're going to do it as if it was the first time you did it, right? Like, what do they call that? Beginner's luck. Like, one time, it's like, whenever I'm about to play a game I don't really play, like darts, right? I threw a dart and you do really well. You like almost get bullseye. It's like, whoa, are you really just that good at it? Or is that beginner's luck? And then I throw another one and it goes, pew, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I've never done this before. This is going to be challenging. And I'm going to have to practice this. So if you're a person and you've never done something before, and then someone asks you to do that thing, and you don't do it perfectly, you might say you're doing the dishes, someone asks you to do the dishes and you've never done the dishes before. You might break a dish, right? You might cut your hand. You might, right? It might have been a dish that really meant something to someone. Something very sentimental. You might have wasted a lot of water. You might not have cleaned the dishes right? Like, there's a whole plethora of things you might not have done right, but it doesn't mean your intention is wrong. As crazy as that sounds. So then you're not doing the dishes right. And someone's like, you didn't do the dishes right. You have to do them like this. What's wrong with you? Didn't anyone ever teach you how to do the dishes? Whatever kind of thing. Response. Or like, they might be like, oh, I would have done the dishes better. I know how to do dishes better. Let me do it. I'll do the dishes, right? Then you're like, man, the dishes suck. Doing dishes sucks. And you might have now a weird negative relationship. It's called negative feedback. You receive negative feedback. So now you have a negative connection to dishes and also to people. If that's the way someone's responding to you over you just trying to do something. So then you avoid doing dishes. You don't want to do dishes anymore. But now you're an adult. You live on your own. You got dishes. You might find ways to avoid doing dishes. You might just use paper plates and throw everything out. You might have your partner do the dishes, right? You might want to avoid doing the dishes because there's a negative connection to dishes and to people. And you might continue to find people who reinforce that negative feedback. Because now you might go into every scenario thinking, I'm not going to do this right. And so you might sabotage yourself or just go in with that attitude and people treat you that way to get that feedback. Until maybe one day someone asks you to do the dishes and they see you're struggling and they're like, hey, are you okay? Like, do you need help doing the dishes? Or they see the way that you do the dishes. Maybe they know a better way to do the dishes. And they're like, hey, I see you doing the dishes like this. Can I show you how I do the dishes? And we'll see like which way you like more or whatever, right? And then you have a beautiful experience doing the dishes. Maybe the next time you don't, and you're frustrated, and you're like, I hate doing the dishes. And you curse that person out and you protect yourself because you're like, I know you're tricking me. You really just want to yell at me and tell me what a piece of crap I am. And you're just trying to be better than me, right? Like, whatever. But it would take time for the familiar to become unfamiliar. We brought it back. For the familiar is, we want that to be unfamiliar. We want you to be able to do the dishes the right way, a good way. This is just a metaphor for the way that we are constantly treating people, the way that we're constantly treating ourselves and each other about anything. It could be political discourse about if someone how someone reacts or doesn't react to what's going on in the world. We can put it side by side with literally anything. That we are all conditioned in some way. And if we keep having people come up to us and say, you're not doing it right, you're bad, the way you do this is bad, and stupid. Why would you do it like this? Oh, did you not have empathy? Do you not have this? Do you not have that? Why are you doing this like this? And it's really because it was learned that way. And I also think like projecting that onto this is like a huge thing I realized recently was like I am constantly projecting how I feel about myself onto other people. Constantly. Unknowingly. We're constantly doing that. Whatever I think about you, it's really how I think about me. And I constantly forget that. What a great thing to forget. Because then I can look at you and say, oh, God, whoa. You make me uncomfortable. You do this, you do that. When really it's you choosing, right? It's like the dishes. It's like whatever conditioning I have around the dishes, right? I'm avoiding the dishes. But I'll look at you doing the dishes and be like, oh my God, why are they doing it like that? Right? It's crazy. It's crazy. But it's not, because that's what happened to us. So all I'm trying to say is I really think that then I brought this up to a friend of mine. I gave this example, and I was like, what about Donald Trump? Like, what if he just needs someone to be like, "Hey, I see you doing this way. Can I show you a different way?" And she said, "Well, the thing about him is he kind of only keeps people around that agree with him." And I was like, "Ah, yes." And that is sad that he is really what that is a reflection of is he is so and I know that. Don't you know that? Feeling in yourself like I tend to keep people around who keep me comfortable. I mean, I have people who challenge the shit out of me, but I would like to but I don't. But I do. Like my partner is super challenging. Super challenging. So I find all kinds of ways to keep him away from me. But thank you for the things that he sees that doesn't push him away from me, but asks him to come closer. Like, that's really special. To have things in us that really push people away. But for some people to say, I'm not going away, that they see what's behind that. And they say, I don't care how many times I have to go through this, I'm going to get to that. That's so beautiful. Thank you for those things. In me. Thank you for giving me that same strength. We need to be, and we're becoming. And that's all I'm trying to say is that all of this takes time. It takes time for the person who never learned how to who never learned how to do the dishes to learn how to do the dishes. And it takes time for the person who yells at another person to do the dishes right, to learn a different way to communicate. And really, they're the same person. Both of those things exist in every single individual. And it will take us time to change those things, to make the familiar unfamiliar. It will take time. And thank God. Thank God we have time. It is one day at a time. It is a moment at a time. And there is so much growing and changing simultaneously in us and in each other. And so be gracious with one another and forgive one another. I don't believe in too many chances. I don't. We need every chance. Maybe I'm wrong. I might be wrong. And that's why I'm here. Like if I am, or if you know something, share, comment. I want to know what you know too. Let's trade acorns. We have to be brave enough to put our identity down. We have to be brave enough to admit we don't know. That maybe in every moment we might not know. We have to look at our dishes. We have to take time to get off of this. We have to take time to do nothing. To just lay on the floor, hibernate, cocoon in yourself and see what's there. And see what is going to be left in the cocoon and what's going to become outside. I think every day is that, gives us that chance. This was a ramble. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Please share whatever you got from this, whatever came up for you. Share your acorns with me, with us. Thank you. I love you. Bye.